Kouzuki Oden is back again, and this time as an aggressive red-green leader from Extra Booster the Memorial Collection. And if you're looking for how to play him, here's everything you need to know. Kouzuki Oden is the new 4-life, 5k power, dual-colored red-green leader. His static ability creates a rule change, changing all of your Land of Wano type character cards without counter to having plus 1000 counter on them. This is huge, because essentially, we'll get into it, but a lot of the downside of early Wano cards was they had pretty powerful effects, but they either had 0 counter, which made it kind of bricky hands when you got aggroed on, or they required a Kouzuki Oden leader. And just like his captain Edward Newgate, this Kouzuki Oden also has the ability to be a 6k base leader, thanks to its Dawn 1 when attacking ability, which says if you have a Land of Wano type character with cost 5 or more, he'll gain 1000 power until the start of your next turn, making him a 6k base body for your attack, and a 6k base body on your opponent's turn as they attack your leader. Since it's pretty evident in the game how powerful a 6k body leader can be, we want to start by looking at what are the 5-cost characters we can leverage to activate this ability, and how good are they outside of that ability. First, enter this support card, Kouzuki Hiyori from Extra Booster, a 4-cost, 0-power character with 1k counter and activate main. Trash this character. Then, play up to 1 Land of Wano type character with a cost of 5 or less, other than Hiyori, from your hand. Then, draw 1 card. With this, you'll be able to play a 5-cost character a turn early going second. And even going first, it frees up an extra Dawn to immediately add to your leader to make him a 6k base body. Plus, the fact that she replaces herself is amazing value as a combo piece. But how good is a conditional 6k body if the conditions to meet it aren't really worth it, right? Well, lucky for us, we have tons of great 5-cost or greater Wano type options, and they are plenty of highlights to take a look at. Like, from Extra Booster, we actually get 2 great additions, in Izo and Yamato. Izo is a 5-cost 7k power character with no base counter, but gains 1k counter from Oden's ability. With on play, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters, meaning when you play them on curve or with Hiyori going second, you're guaranteed to still make Oden a 6k base. But you also get this sweet once per turn ability on your opponent's attack, which lets you trash 1 card from your hand to reduce the power of one of your opponent's characters or leader by 2000 if your leader is a Land of Wano or Whitebeard type card, which won't be an issue here. And then there's the new Yamato, a 5-cost 5k power with 2k counter, and activate main once per turn, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. This big buffed up version of Booster Nami will allow your Oden to always be a 6k body base, while also being able to leverage this Yamato as a defensive counter in your hand or an attacker on board. But some of the real spice comes from the Wano cards that have already been out for a while. In set 1, we had this mono green Oden leader, which granted conditional abilities to some of the Akazaya 9 type characters that were in the set. Unfortunately, without these abilities, the characters mostly weren't great and constructed, and even with the abilities turned on with Oden, the Oden leader wasn't very particularly strong himself, so you kind of didn't really play them. But now they're back and ready to throw their weight around. First, we have OP01's Denjiro, a 5-cost 7k power with no counter, who gains 1k counter thanks to your leader. He features a Dawn 1 when attacking ability that lets you set 2 of your Dawn cards as active if your leader is Kouzuki Oden, letting you swing for 8 while freeing up rested Dawn to power up your leader or other attacks, play multiple cards in a turn, or hold up defensive options like Radical Beam. And to note here, the 5-cost body with a 7k power, much like the Izo, makes this a particularly good card right now, because it dodges a lot of removal without work being put in. It's hard for RP Law to make a 7k base power down to 3k to bottom deck it. It's hard for Black to reduce a 5k power down to what it needs to KO it in most situations or bottom deck. So really, your opponents are going to have to work harder to kill your board than in other matchups. There's also OP01's Kinemon, a 6-cost 6k power with no counter that gains 1k counter from your leader's ability. With on play, if your leader is Kouzuki Oden, play up to 1 Akazaya 9 type character card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand, giving you 9 cost in total value in characters on board for only 6 Dawn. He also features a Dawn 1 when attacking once per turn ability that lets you set up to 1 of your Akazaya 9 type character cards with a cost of 3 or less as active. With this, you're really able to build out an aggressive and interactive board with plenty of other 3-cost cards you'd already like to play, such as OP01's Okiku, who when they attack helps you rest opponents' characters to get past blockers or resting threats to attack into them with your other characters. OP01's Raizo, who draws cards on attack when you have another rested character. Or OP02's Neku Mamushi, who serves as a blocker. And remember, for all those cards without counter, This new Oden will give them 1k counter power. Speaking of Oden, there is another Oden that makes these cards better, and that is OPO2's Kouzuki Oden character card. An 8-cost, 8k power character with no counter, which now gains counter 1000. He features the once per turn activate main ability of paying 3 Dawn instead of his active, letting him swing twice with his oppressive 2-sword style. And then, when he's KO'd, you'll be able to search your deck for any of your 3-cost land wano cards and put 1 into play. This 8-cost Oden serves as a great way to combat decks that go big like Gecko Moria or Purple Luffy, or match up well into leaders who are tricky to kill even on 1 or 2 life, like NL or Katakuri. And we can't forget about OPO1's Yamato, whose name also counts as Kouzuki Oden, a 5-cost 5k power with 1k counter and double attack banish, allowing you to really speed up the game, forcing your opponent to deal with it immediately or really lose out on resources whether they defend themselves or not. And to keep the deck together, we have a great searcher in OPO1's Momonosuke, which lets you pay 1 and rest him to check the top 5 cards of your deck for a Land of Wano card and add it to your hand. And soon you'll have OPO7's Otama, whose on play lets you check the top 5 cards of your deck, this time for just a green Land of Wano card. Honestly, once OPO7 comes out, you should be slotting in all 8 of these searchers and 4 Hioris, trying to go second every time. On your 2-Dawn turn, leverage your searcher to get your Hiyori, or get a 5-drop card that's worth playing. Then, on your 4-Dawn turn, going second, play Hiyori, start going to town. Basically, if Hiyori's not in your hand, mulligan your hand, with exceptions. Plus, Wano has some awesome support tools that have been played for a while now. Izo from OPO1 lets you rest opponents' characters while serving as a 2k counter. OPO2's Yamato lets you rest even bigger threats while being able to crack back at your opponent's board and now gaining 1000 counter in this deck. Even red Otama can finally pair up with the green Wano cards, allowing you to on-play reduce a character's power by 2000 and then attacking it down with your bigger characters. Plus, funny enough, OPO6 gave us Ryuma, who is also a Land of Wano traded character and can act as a 2-way removal card with on-play and on-KO, KOing arrested 4-drop or less, while being a serious 6k attacker to deal with. But even the strong Samurai of Wano can always use a little help. Luckily, we have great cards like OPO6's Hody Jones, a 7-cost 8k power character with Rush, and on play, rest 2 of your opponent's characters, then put the top card of your life into your hand, allowing you to really go at your opponent's board if they decide to wall up and plan a counterattack the following turn. Or Odin's captain himself, Edward Newgate, from OPO2. A cost 9 10k power character with on play, your leader gains 2000 power to the start of your next turn, and when attacking with 2 Dawn attached, lets you KO one of your opponent's characters with power 3000 or less, allowing for your leader to have a base power of 8k between Newgate's ability and his own. And while I've spent most of this time talking about how to build great Wano packages around Kouzuki Oden, there's other options too. I mean, a Rush deck looks really good at Kouzuki Oden. Being above red and green really lets it lead itself into aggressive type strategies. So aggressive Straw Hat cards like OPO1's Rush Zoro and Starter Deck 1's Rush Luffy really let you step on the gas, which is enough to start leaning into a Straw Hat package similar to the Strawbeard Edward Newgate decks. And if you have a taste for Rush, you should definitely be including the new Kid and Killer from Extra Booster, a 4-cost Rush character with 5k power that becomes a 7k power when attacking if your opponent has 2 or less life. And of course, like any good value green deck, you can always build a good old Fortress build with OPO1s that use this Captain Kid, forcing your opponents to go big for your leader and go even bigger to get at your leader. And if you're looking for a place to start, check out this build that took 2nd place at a flagship. And this is the version I've been preparing for OPO7. So let me know in the comment section down below how you plan to fight valiantly with Kouzuki Oden. And if you're looking for guides on the other Extra Booster leaders or more fun One Piece content, make sure to subscribe and check out the channel.